In a society where the deck is increasingly stacked against men, the best chance at a life worth living is to escape the cubicle war. Pick up Corporate Land on Amazon.com today. A link is in the description.
What up, everyone? Terrence Popp here, Redonkulous.com. And Bad Pop showed up, but I got some good news, though. Ladies, you might want to sign up now because my 7-year hiatus is coming to an end. Winning. Take a number, bitch.
Your reign of terror is over. Mine has just begun.
For my new subscribers out there, blast from the past, I've been through a string of shitty-ass relationships. It was a vicious cycle, and the ending, always the same. After some serious reflection, I realized that the only common factor in that whole bowl of shit was me. So I decided I'll take 7 years off and unfuck my life and do what makes me happy.
Pop, 6 years without any pussy? How did you do that?
Hey, I said no relationships. I didn't say pussy. It's like going to the pool hall, but you're not really playing for money. But sooner or later, some balls are gonna go into some holes, if you know what I mean.
Man.
During this whole hiatus, my longest stretch between pink pockets, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, something like that. And you want to know how I felt about it? Just fine. It didn't bother me at all. I didn't give a shit, damn or fuck. Unlike this woman here in this article. This slewer tried to take just 1 month off of men and couldn't even do that. Obviously, this woman is a feminist. And how do I know this? She writes for Vice.
You're an idiot.
The hair where I'm working or both?
Hair makes you look like a hooker. I like it.
So we're going to dive face first into the sperm receptacle colostomy bag you call an article. And hopefully, we won't get any warts like Horton.
Yeah.
The first thing you're going to notice about this article is the picture of the author on the front. She's a 4.5, maybe 5 tops, and that's with Photoshop and good lighting. But like all women who are quick to spread their legs, I think breaking the dick counter makes them a 10. Nope, just makes you easy, maybe your piss will burn, and you have a couple trips to the vacuum center, if you know what I mean.
I tried to give up men for a month. People always say you find love when you stop looking for it, so I stopped.
The same is true of stupid shit also. I don't go looking for it, but somehow it keeps finding me.
One of the many consequences of being so public about my love life is the high amount of unsolicited dating advice I get from friends, acquaintances, strangers, and even some men who have been inside me.
For a second there, lady, you're almost logical. You understand that being very public about your slutty behavior can fuck shit up for you. Unlike some people we could mention, check it out. But hey, you had to pull a ripcord and go full retard, and now we're all covered in your nasty-ass period blood. Because this is the way professional manipulators talk, yeah. Just by reading this article, I can tell you drank all of that goddamn feminist Kool-Aid. In fact, you bathed in it, and then you douched with it, didn't you? You think you can be a turbo skank and keep your feelings separate? Clearly, you can.
Is there a difference?
Is there a difference?
But that endless supply of penises coming through the revolving doors, one in the front and the back of your apartment, they can. And let's face it, you fucking hate them for it, don't you? So you're making casual sex way more creepy intimate than it is because you want to shame those casual flings for not wanting more. But obviously, that doesn't work because you're a 5. Men do not write a check against a 5, honey. I'm sorry. The best you can hope for is a 10. $1 bill left on the nightstand when you wake up. Screen 5.
Some of the advice is downright infuriating, like when people urge me to settle for someone I clearly have no chemistry with simply because they like me.
I'm calling bullshit on that. No one has ever said that to you. If they told you to cut back on your narcissism and your picky bitchness, I would believe that. No one, not one fucking person told you to settle down with somebody you have nothing in common with. Unless they have money, right? Screen 5.
However, the piece of advice that's offered the most is that I should just stop trying.
All right, cool. Maybe you won't spread your herpes around, Space Ghost.
It's been the plot of countless romantic comedies, and many of my friends in loving relationships tell me it happened to them. We found each other when we weren't looking.
People won the lotto also. In fact, sometimes I get struck by lightning. Twice. Shit happens.
My love life is full of trying. I'm on multiple dating apps, perpetually on blind dates, and go out multiple nights a week in the hopes of maybe talking to a stranger who won't murder me.
Because that's not being judgmental or anything. But you know, all of that shit you're talking about burns up a hell of a lot of time. Why don't you take some of that time and invest it in yourself? And maybe you'd be somebody worth dating.
Pop, don't let it go. What? X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you.
And yet I have not managed to date anyone for longer than a few months, if that.
Not to burst your spinster bubble or anything, they probably Googled you. And they realized they could hit it, quit it, neutral slam it, take it to the crash-up derby, smash the hell out of it, blow some pistons, and leave it turned upside down in the mud, dripping some fluid.
You see what he did there?
Even worse, we live in an age where a young woman admitting she would like to be in love is viewed as corny and tragic.
One, because it is, and number two, you can blame feminism for that one. It was feminism that told you that a football team could run an express train from hell on every orifice you have, and you would still be worth full retail. And we've been telling you that's bullshit for years. So if you're gonna blame anybody, blame feminism. They're the ones who fed you a bowl of shit, and you asked for seconds.
Well, I'm sick of playing it cool. I want the schmaltzy romance that's been rammed down my throat by movies, TV, and books since I was old enough to process information.
That's not the only thing that's been rammed down your throat all the way to hell, just saying. But in all seriousness, this is a classic symptom of somebody hitting the wall. And being a solid 5, you're gonna hit that wall faster and sooner than other women. All your friends who are 7, 8s, and 9s, they got at least a couple more years of pump and dump in them before they're done with that shit. And these notions of romance that were rammed down your throat balls deep, you didn't have to believe them. All they could do is try to sell you shit. You're the one that pulled out your wallet and bought it.
Merry Christmas.
And a happy go to hell.
So I decided to put myself on a man fast. 1 entire month of no internet dating, no one-night stands, no romantic encounters of any kind unless it's with someone who genuinely seems interested in marrying me, giving me babies, and sticking around to stroke my hair while I finally succumb to aging-associated diseases. Here's how it went.
I will say this, Allison. You were very smart not to release this as a series. Because if you'd announced ahead of time that only serious dudes could crack open that pink pocket, you would have gotten a lot of marriage proposals, probably a hell of a lot of clam chowder. They would have spit roasted you like a stuck pig and left you there crying with an apple in your mouth.
First thing I had to do was delete the apps I was on. Tinder, Bumble, Preppy Tinder, Happen, Beta Tinder, Field, Threesome Tinder, and OkCupid, Original Tinder. All gone.
What the shit is Threesome Tinder? That actually exists? And you admit to being a member? I have heard of women riding the cock carousel, but this one seems turbocharged and connected at the end to a roller coaster. I bet you this woman giving up dick cold turkey was like hitting the end of the moving sidewalk at the airport while running. You're walking along at full speed, you're clipping along, and all of a sudden,
Second step was deleting the phone numbers of the men I have on call in case of a horniness emergency.
First of all, being horny is not an emergency. Second of all, if you have a Rolodex of cock on speed dial, you're a whore. Nope, you're a slewer. I don't have anyone on call for that. I just have Pornhub. Shit.
After going through my phone and getting rid of them, the third and final step was to delete the phone number of a skateboarder I've been crushing on for months, who may or may not have a girlfriend.
But yet, you would expect complete loyalty, devotion, and fidelity from your old boyfriends, right?
This cleansing felt just like how I feel after an STI check comes back negative. I'm a virgin again.
Get the fuck out!
I was now a blank slate wiped clean of the dick from my past and ready for my man fest.
You wish, baby. You wish. I bet you your roast beef looks like Rocky Balboa just beat the shit out of it.
You're breaking the ribs.
This first week was extremely uneventful. Nothing happened that could constitute a meet cute, which I don't think I've ever actually experienced.
I'm a 30-year infantry grunt. What the hell is a meet cute?
Well, I think it means...
Wait, whoa. Did I say I actually wanted to know?
No.
All right, then.
The closest thing I've had in the past is when a guy I matched with was at the same coffee shop as me, then messaged me after I left to let me know he saw me. We had sex that night, and he moved to Argentina the next day. We haven't spoken since.
Of course he did! Oldest trick in the book. That is infantry booty call break contact 101. No wonder you're such a floozy. I'm just saying. Let me ask you this. Did he tell you he was moving out of country before or after he ramrodded you into the next decade? Oh, baby, got a pack. I'm moving to Argentina, Space Coast.
Being away from the apps made me realize how much of my life is dedicated to swiping. I thought I wasn't doing it that much, but the reality is that I just made the act of swiping such a regular part of my daily routine that it stopped feeling like it was a lot. Is that sad? Don't answer that. I think I know the answer.
Yes, it is sad. If you know it's bad for you and keep doing it, it's also insane. And we know how women treat men on these dating apps. 80% of men rated below average by women. You spend all this time acting like a shallow, judgmental whore, and yet you want the royal treatment in return for a 5.
You want to look at vaginas? There are websites for that.
Think I made him money?
Not gonna happen. With that, we're moving on to week 2. Fighta! Before we do that, digest this picture of Alison. Take a look at those gravitationally challenged flabby arms. That pin on the fat grenade is almost completely out. Pretty sure a slight breeze or one single Twinkie would blow us all to kingdom come.
One small field for man, one giant ass for mankind.
With that being said, you know that this woman pulls down a lot of pipe. And that's just sad because it's true. Average looking ladies in their 20s and early 30s reek of desperation. And the pickup artists out there, and I know some guys are watching this channel, they could smell that shit from a mile away.
Thinking that I should probably put some effort into manifesting the meet cute of my dreams, I decided to put more thought into my daytime appearance.
You said this whole thing was about you taking time off and not putting in any effort. But hey, that would be expecting consistency from a feminist Space Ghost.
Daytime me is typically a lot less put together than nighttime me, who is usually trying to get laid.
No shit, Sherlock. In fact, nighttime you's probably naked. Wait a minute, this picture here. The one on the left, that's daytime you, and the one on the right is nighttime you? I really don't see much of a difference. In fact, they both look like slut time you. And to be honest, I want to hammer both of those chicks with a stolen dick screen 5.
Every morning of this week, I put thought into my outfits. I worked some foundation into my face, brushed my hair, and almost exclusively wore dresses, tapping into the most cliche image of femininity possible.
So what you're saying is being a slutty whore isn't working for you. So you're gonna move on to being a deceptive slutty whore. Yeah, because that always works. That's a good way to find a dude who'll write a check against your average ass. Until the first time he wakes up next to it and finds out it was all for show. And then the only thing left of him will be a vapor trail to the man-shaped hole in your back door.
I switched up my routine too, finding new places to write and get a cup of coffee, as well as new shops to run errands at. Again, nothing happened.
That's called draining the water hole dry. You ran it to empty and you had to find new places to hang out for new dick. But hey, I guess that's what happened when you treat your snot pocket like a lemonade stand. And what you're selling is bad. It's dirt cheap, watered down, and usually it's found on the side of the road. Screen 5!
Well, one thing did happen at night. I went out for some drinks with a friend and happened to meet someone that I have mutual friends with. He's older than me, a heavily tattooed single dad who lives alone and reeks of emotional unavailability.
But of course, you wanted to jump his fucking bones. Give me a break.
After flirting for some time, it was pretty obvious we wanted to fuck.
Called it!
But I stopped myself from giving in to the temptation, knowing full well it would be a fuck for fuck's sake and nothing else.
Well, at least you figured that out. And if you could stop doing it, maybe you could be happy and not a harpy.
Any other month, that wouldn't be an issue for me at all, but this was my man-fast month, and I had to stick to it.
And you claim to have a clean STI panel? Bitch, please.
We did exchange numbers, though. I secretly hoped we could engage in some light flirting, which I admit I kind of felt like I needed in order to get me through the rest of the month. I figured if he initiates it, then I could go along with it.
And so it begins, the long downward spiral to get your tonsils buttered.
Predictably, he never initiated anything. Do I really have to do all the work here?
When you're a 5? Yes. The only women that are actually worth the chase, at least for a little while, are about a 7.5 and up. So baby, as a 5, it is in your best interest to get running. I don't know how old you are, but looking at your pictures, I'm gonna guess roughly 30. And if you're a 5 now, that means in 7 years, you're gonna be a 4. And 7 years after that, you drop down to a 3. And yes, the hits just keep on coming. Before you know it, you're a 50 and you're a 2.
I'll be honest, I really dropped the ball this week.
Oh, yeah, this ought to be good. I bet you she dropped the ball and picked up some balls, if you know what I mean.
I drunkenly re-downloaded Tinder and messaged the skateboarder whose number I'd previously deleted.
Shocker! Hey, you want to smell it?
No.
Luckily, all I said in my drunken state was, hey, which obviously he didn't respond to for 12 hours.
Hey, we know the deal. If a woman messages you one word in the middle of the night, you know what it's for. She wanted some lo mein, a wet noodle, and some spicy sauce. And if he didn't respond for 12 hours, he was rocking somebody else's half pipe, if you know what I mean.
I didn't keep the conversation going with him and didn't initiate any conversation with my new Tinder matches. The man fast was still on.
Listen, I know I wasn't on screen when she was reading that, but this was my face.
I went back to being unkempt daytime me, realizing that putting effort into my outward appearance was a form of trying and was too outside of my character.
You're acting like there's a big switch between daytime whore and nighttime whore. You're still a whore. The only difference is maybe the smell.
I did go out drinking again this week and was surprised to find myself being hit on once more.
That's because there isn't a perfume or a whore sauce that can cover the scent of desperation. And if you're going to your typical watering holes, they all know the deal, you know? If you know what I mean.
This time by a 23-year-old Dodger fan wearing a bandana and talking to me about his startup.
That's a good one. Kind of like being a poker champion.
He was not even close to being my type.
Based on what you wrote here and your pictures, your type is an emotionally unavailable bad boy. Heaven forbid a dude should show some genuine interest in you, even if he is full of shit. But then again, so are you. You'd make a great couple. Screen 5.
Normally, I would end the conversation as quickly as possible and call it a night. However, thinking back to the rom-coms in my memory bank,
Rom-coms! More psyop brainwashing.
I figured this could potentially play out as one of those opposites attract scenarios where I become the manic pixie dream girl who introduces him to the world of art and punk rock, while he teaches me about the value of saving money and caring about my future.
All right, there's optimism, and then there's foolish optimism, and then you move on to stupidity, and after that, fucking brainwashed. Spoiler alert, you're in the latter category. Unfortunately for men, you're in a lot of company.
These 25-year-old females, they're usually completely rational. They're rocks, really.
That one sentence sums up the expectations of the Western women better than I ever could. This is a fantasy. It's not reality. So wake the fuck up because you're a 5 and you're running out of time. But most of you bitches refuse to wake up from the Disneyland princess dream. And then you have the gall to bitch and moan that you're not happy.
Nothing about our love makes sense, yet somehow it works.
Newsflash, if there's nothing about your love that makes sense, you're getting divorced.
I decided to go ahead and give him my number, which is when I realized there really might be something to not putting any effort into dating. I'd been approached twice during my experiment, which hadn't happened to me for quite some time before the man fast.
You ever go on a diet just because your friends are on a diet and you don't really want to, but you do it anyway? And then suddenly, out of nowhere, the cake, the ice cream, the cookies, all of the good shit like pizza, you want it every single day. And before you went on that diet, you could take or leave these things. They really weren't a big deal. Same thing here. When you decided to give up men, that scent of desperation became a stank.
The rest of the week went by. He never texted. Before this man fast, I would have eventually just sent the first text. However, purposely making myself not do so had put my love life into perspective.
From my perspective, you're still a 5. And you're still a ding-dong and one ho-ho away from full pairitis.
Like, damn, I really do put effort into bringing men into my life. Men who are most likely not that interested in me. At least, not enough to really make some moves.
Okay. Remember that you said that. Just saying. Because in 5 years, you're gonna read these same sentences again and realize how fucking stupid you are. Not because you wrote it, but because you weren't smart enough to heed your own advice.
I really do put effort into bringing men into my life. Men who are most likely not that interested in me.
Dudes, pay close attention because those 2 sentences are the key that unlocks the vault of female insanity. This is why so many women are unhappy. You refuse to give your time to men who show you genuine interest. You always go after the men who don't give a damn shit or fuck if you even exist, because those are the guys who interest you, right? Men who care, they're boring, but emotionally unavailable assholes, they're mysterious.
Okay, we have a neurological problem here.
There's something wrong with my brain?
Oh, yeah.
You convince yourself, I can change him.
All he needs is a good woman. I can make him want me.
No, you can't. Here's a truth bomb that's going to blow your world to shit. Most of you, you're not good women. All you wind up doing is showing a guy who doesn't give a shit about you. You'll do anything to fuck him. Then, when it turns out to be another pump and dump in a never-ending cycle, you bitch and moan that all men are the same. Wah. No, they aren't. You're the problem. Not that I expect you to believe me or anything, Allison. Feminists aren't known to be the most open-minded of creatures. So I fully expect you to go on doing what you're gonna be doing. And when your last fertility window slams shut behind you, just remember, I was here for you. And maybe that thought will keep you warm as you suffocate to death under a blanket of living, stinking cats. Screen 5.
All right, I'll be honest, I fucked the single dad.
Called it. You called it. I don't have any jokes for this, so please, comments below.
It was all me, too. I made it happen. In my defense, I hadn't had sex in several months, and the man fast served as a constant reminder of that.
But hey, when a man does that, y'all call it rape.
I didn't have the distractions I normally have, like dates and light internet flirting.
So the only thing that's keeping you from making an assload of bad decisions is yet again more bad decisions.
My horny levels were reaching a tipping point. My vibrator lost half its original strength because I keep forgetting to buy new batteries, and I just needed some dick.
To be honest, Allison, I'm surprised that one dick did it for you. If you are wearing out your vibrator every month, that's gotta be one loose ball of Laffy Taffy down there, just saying. Half the women out there are size queens not because they found a big dick, but because of the battery-powered baseball bat that they keep in their nightstand. Is that a sex toy? Or does it shoot down enemy aircraft? What the fuck? You mercilessly beat the shit out of this bubblegum, and then you bitch that no man can satisfy you.
Is it in yet?
I really don't know.
I'd also thought to myself that maybe, just maybe, I was wrong about this guy being emotionally unavailable.
That's called wishful thinking. In fact, it's a one-way ticket to dying alone.
Maybe this could actually be the start of a relationship.
He's just gonna be another dude you text hey to at 3 a.m. in the morning. He's gonna come right over and give you half a quart of some throat yogurt and leave in the morning because he likes his eggs unfertilized. Screen 5.
But then the night we hooked up, we got to talking about exes and past loves.
That is one hell of a bad mistake right there.
He mentioned a woman he recently got dumped by, whom he would get back into a relationship with immediately if she texted him. So yeah, my initial assessment was right. It was a pretty good fuck, though.
Well, I guess good for you? I'm not even gonna bother with her dumbass conclusion to this article. We're just gonna talk about mine. Allison, I don't know how else to say this, but you had one job! 1 month! No internet dating. No one-night stands or romantic encounters of any kind. Unless the dude was marriage material. And not just because you hope so. Bottom line, a woman who cannot keep her promises to herself will never keep them for somebody else. Writing a check against a woman like you is a doomed proposition from the start. Made the hair on the back of my neck stand up every time I say that word, doomed.
Is it only when you say it? Or can I say it too?
I think it's pretty much me.
I don't know, you wanna try it?
Alright,
Doomed.
not so much.
Fuck.
Most women, you have to wait a while before you can crack the hood and look at the real damage. Yours is painted right on the outside. You wear that dick odometer on your tits like a neon sign. Let's face it, you're a high mileage sale and a high liability, and nobody's gonna write a check against that, nor give you an insurance policy for the liability. Your cylinders are blown out, and it is clear you need some body work and maybe a paint job. Bottom line, as a solid 5 screeching to the wall at breakneck speed, it's only going to get harder for you. And if you think it's tough now, you just wait. And it's not anyone's fault. Wait a minute. No, it's all your fault.
You two must have met online. Either that or you've got a friend who secretly hates you.
Because you swallowed the feminist lies, hook, line, and sinker. You thought you could ride that cock carousel until you were done. And get off, no pun intended, and then get married.
Oh, no.
Now it is my turn to give you some unsolicited free advice, because I love that. No matter how much you want to believe the bullshit that feminism has sold you, it's all a goddamn lie. They convinced you can be a mondo whore, and when you're done, you can score and still have full market value. Right? Wrong. There are things in this world that change, and then there are those that don't. And sometimes, no matter how much they do change, they stay the same. The women are different, the times are different, the rules are different, but reality hasn't changed. The reality is, if you splatter on impact from your dick stacking test, it's over for you. Men will still want you, only for one thing, and only for a little while, and I call that practice. They'll treat you like a pincushion. In every orifice, it'll get a stab. But the minute you become a pain in the ass, you're gone. Those dudes will jump ship like the first white bitch off the Titanic. And you want to know why? Because this is the world that feminism has created for you. They have rigged the entire game. They have changed the fabric of our culture to put women on top. And then ironically, they have the balls to think there'll be no negative consequences for that. They have taken away all the benefits of being a man in the relationship. And then they wonder why men don't want to get married anymore. Because marriage, after all, it's simply a contract. Who in their right mind is going to sign a contract where you get no benefits but all of the liability? No one. And fortunately for us, the only thing that's still on the table is the pussy. As long as you have your coitus consent form filled out and you're willing to play the game. But not me. I'm done playing that shit, and for you, honey, it's game over. But hey, it's not all bad. Check out the links below, Patreon and PayPal. Send us a couple bucks, because I love me my whiskey. Speaking of which, this is our recent fan donation. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you very much. And while you're at it, please hit the subscribe button and the bell. And if you do, we'll set up a basket fuck on Threesome Tinder. Screen 5. Ha ha!
You hear what these fucking assholes said about me?
Where?
I don't care. Hey, you gonna write stupid shit? You get some stupid prizes. Lick it, stick it, your skin, and it won't wash off. Oh, the old Cracker Jack tattoos. Those fuckers never washed off. Took forever.
You gotta like bathe in vinegar.
My mother used to beat me when I